All right, I am back. Episode 4, Midnight Mass. Jesus Christ. This is one of those shows where um, episodes 1 and 2, I'm like, is this horror? Or is this drama? Because this feels like drama. It just feels like a drama show. And then episodes 3 and 4, it's like, yep, this is horror. This is horror. Man, episode 4 is a doozy. My goodness. We start off the episode where Erin miscarries somehow because, she felt a baby inside her this whole time, but apparently that could happen medically. I don't understand it, but apparently she could have miscarried and not realized she miscarried and thought she was pregnant months after, which doesn't make any sense to me. But according to Dr. Sarah, that could happen. So she she's told that she has nothing in her womb, like she has no baby growing, by Dr. Sarah, and she's like, yeah, you probably miscarried without realizing it. So we start off on a depressing note on that one. Then we start to get a lot more reveals on Father Paul. And Father Paul, I don't think he's a demon, but I definitely think he's a vampire. And I like how they treat his addiction to blood in the same way that they treat Riley's addiction to alcohol or to whatever, like his addiction and his struggle. Like he's going through the whole AA process, and they treat Father Paul in his addiction to blood because he's clearly addicted. Excuse me, he's clearly addicted to blood, and they show it like he's like addicted to it in like regardless of like him like steaming in the sunlight because he does, and he's clearly showing signs that he's a vampire. So there's that. I really like the father son talk with Riley and Riley's father when he, because you can tell that his father is holding a lot of pain, obviously, with what happened to Riley and him, going to jail for what he did, and all the legal issues that he had to pay for. Like, it's a really, really huge thing. And although he loves his son to pieces, and you can tell he loves his son to pieces, and you can tell that he has faith in his soul, it's still one hell of a burden to know that your son killed someone under the influence. Like, and that whole conversation that they have on the boat was really, really heartfelt, and it was really well written. Like, I haven't seen a show in a while that has been so well written as this one. Like, this one is phenomenal with its writing. The second miracle, I will say it's the second miracle because that's what I see it as, is the Sarah's mother. With she was suffering from dementia, and now she's suddenly remembering everything. After this whole miracle with the Lisa in the wheelchair starting to walk, and you can tell there's an enormous amount of miracles that are randomly happening for no apparent reason, but also tragedies too, with the whole animal deaths and stuff, and the cats washing up on shore. So you really don't know where, like, it's heading to a creature feature, and I'll get into that a little bit more at the end, because the finale of this episode, again, it's it's another cliffhanger. But but there's good things happening on this island, and there's tragedies happening on this island at the same time, where you don't even know. Like, I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious on where this is gonna go. Now, like, again, I know there's a creature feature story gonna come out of this, and Father Paul is involved somehow, but I'm curious to know exactly how, kind of thing. There's a scene where Erin talks about her mother and the clipping of birds' wings. I'm not going to get too much into detail on what she says, but that's another piece of brilliant writing that's just so so good. It hits the heart, like it's depressing. It like I almost teared up, but what she explains, a conversation with her mother that she had, and her mother making her clip a bird's wings, which she chose not to, and what her mother said about the clipping of wings. I'll just leave it at that. It's just so so evil from a human. You know what I mean? Telling her daughter something like that, and then leading right on to a conversation between Aaron and Riley, and they're having a conversation about what happens after you die. And Riley, a full blown atheist, is talking about you go into a dream, your brain is firing rapidly, everything starts to mix together, and then blackness. And you get Erin's description on what she believes that happens after you die, and she is like, you know, you trans trans transgressive. I don't know. You move on to like a different complete dimension, and I finally get to see my unborn baby, because she starts to talk about her miscarriage, and I finally get to see my unborn baby again, and I I can't I can't say exactly what the dialogue is, because it's so damn good, and it's so well written, and these scenes, like, they don't, like, they're like almost 10 minutes long, some of them, and just, man, the writing in this show is brilliant. And as I said, with like the horror being introduced, like, yeah, this show gets brutal. We know Father Paul is some kind of vampire creature, but there's another one introduced at the end of the show, where this creature shows up, and Father Paul's there as well. So there's obviously two creatures. There's Father Paul has his own addictions, and then there's this actual, like Nosferatu kind of vampire, and Riley shows up, and then he gets pounded on, and he has like the life and the blood sucked out of him, and I'm like, okay, are we killing off the main character already? Because we have 3 more episodes to go. So I'm wondering what the hell is going to happen to Riley. He must be dead. I mean, but then again, the last episode, Father Paul had a seizure and he coughed up blood and he lived. So I don't know if Riley's a goner, or if they are just tricking us. But damn. Damn, what a ending to an episode. What a tragic ending to an episode. Anyway, I'm looking at my notes here to see if I covered everything. Oh, Joe again, who was killed by Father Paul, and like, it's so weird because, and Joe, like, he was such a likable character too, getting sober and everything, and figuring out his mistakes for what he did to Lisa, and I love the confrontation that Lisa has with him. But even like at the liquor store, where he's staring at the beers, like he's jonesing like crazy, and he wants them so bad. Like I've been like, I understand where he's coming from, because like dealt with things that I've craved before, like not to get like into super detail, but when it comes to people needing, like feeling like they need something, like I can relate pretty much. And and he does, like you could tell like in his face that he just needs this beer, like he needs it, but he's so hesitant on it, and he's just forcing himself not to touch it, and that was pretty powerful. But for him to die like right at the end of the episode, and be killed by Father Paul, and then Bev, man, Bev, Bev is a crazy bitch. Holy shit, Bev, Bev. That's all I'm gonna say. Bev, like holy shit, like she's trying to convince the father of Lisa to hide this Joe's dead body who's sucked dry of blood, and Father Paul in the room. She knows and she says he's like he had God flowing through him. Bitch, what? What? Like he had God flowing through him, and that's what made him suck Joe's blood dry. I think that's a demon, honey, not not an angel. Jesus, man, Bev, the show's fucked. Yeah, and then it ends off with Riley being pounced on and whatnot. But yeah, that's what I'm going from here. The show like is really disturbing, and it's showing its horror esque now. But we'll see where it goes from here, because I'm very excited and I'm very into it. So I recommend the show for anybody. I assume you're watching it because these are all spoiler reviews. So this is not a show that I would like to spoil for anybody. I think you should just like dive right into it and check it out if you're a horror fan. If not, stay away. But if you're a horror fan, definitely check it out. So, subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like the sound of my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll have lots more coming. I'm covering this entire show, and I'm about to do 31 Days of Horror coming up soon, starting, what is today, Thursday? So starting tomorrow. Tomorrow's first episode, 31 Days of Horror. Subscribe and check that out, and I will be back. So, till next time, cheers.